Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks, buckle up, because what we're about to discuss could be one of the most impactful moves in the NFC East this season. Rumors are swirling around that the Green Bay Packers, a team currently in a bit of a transitional phase, are open to trading one of their young standout receivers, Romeo Doubs. That's right, a player who has shown flashes of brilliance and could be a real difference maker for a team like the Washington Commanders, especially with their current struggles. And the interesting part? The Packers are apparently willing to part ways with Doubs in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. That's a significant investment, but it signals that Green Bay is prioritizing future assets to bolster their roster, particularly on the defensive line and with young talent, as they continue their rebuild. To understand why this potential trade is such a game-changer, we need to look closely at what Romeo Doubs brings to the table. He's not just another receiver. He's a precision route runner with a knack for creating separation and making contested catches. Throughout his career, Doubs has accumulated over 100 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns, with a career average of 8 yards per reception. That's impressive for a player still in his early 20s, and it shows a level of explosiveness and reliability that NFL teams covet. His PFF grade has been consistently high, reaching 82.6, which indicates solid performance across the board. And this season, up until September 15th, he has 24 receptions for 312 yards and 4 touchdowns, despite dealing with a minor knee injury that limited him to just 5 games. What makes Doubs particularly enticing for Washington is his ability to stretch defenses. As a Pro Bowl emerging talent, he evokes comparisons to some of the best in the game like Davante Adams in his prime. His low drop rate of just 2% and his ability to win contested catches at a rate of 65% demonstrate his reliability in clutch moments, especially in the red zone. This is exactly what Washington needs right now, someone who can step in and make a difference when it matters most. Jahan Dotson has been solid, but Doubs would elevate the entire receiving group, creating mismatches that defenses would struggle to handle, especially on third downs where precise route running can turn the tide of a game. But of course, the Packers aren't in a position to hold onto Doubs forever. Green Bay is clearly in a rebuild mode, with a record of 4-4 this season, and their offense has been somewhat inconsistent, averaging just 21 points per game. Their quarterback, Jordan Love, has had moments of promise but also some regression, with a QBR of 84.1, which isn't terrible but is far from elite. The Packers are also facing significant needs on their defensive line, allowing about 4.2 sacks per game, which is a clear indication they need to reinforce that area. So it makes sense for Green Bay to think about moving Doubs now, before he turns 26 and their rebuilding efforts are fully underway. They're prioritizing draft picks, especially to strengthen their pass rush and defensive front, which has been a weak spot this season. For Washington, though, this kind of acquisition could be transformative. With about $27 million in cap space, the Commanders are in a solid position to make a push for a player like Doubs. His addition would immediately elevate their passing game, especially with Terry McLaurin unavailable due to a re-injury of his quadriceps. That absence has put a lot of pressure on Jayden Daniels and the rest of the offense to step up. Doubs, as a second receiver, would give Washington a much-needed vertical threat and a reliable target in critical situations. His ability to create mismatches in the red zone, he's already scored 8 touchdowns this season, would help improve their red zone efficiency from 36% to potentially over 42%. That kind of boost could be the difference between winning and losing close games, especially in a division as competitive as the NFC East. Now, if we look at how Doubs would fit into the Commanders' offensive scheme, it's pretty clear he'd be a perfect complement to Jayden Daniels. In the system run by Coach Cliff Kingsbury, Doubs would be utilized as a slot receiver who can stretch the field and take advantage of his speed and route running skills. His presence would open up more opportunities for Brian Robinson Jr. who's been a steady runner but could see more lanes to operate through if defenses have to respect Dubs' deep threat. The combination of Dubs' explosiveness and Robinson's consistent running would give Washington a balanced attack that could challenge anyone in the league. In fact, adding Dubs could push the Commanders' playoff odds from +15-0 to +5-0, making them a real X-factor in the postseason picture. And imagine the potential in the playoffs. Dubs, with his history of clutch postseason performances, including 2 touchdowns in past playoff appearances, could be a real difference maker against top-tier defenses like the Eagles or the Cowboys. His ability to elevate his game on the big stage would be invaluable in high-pressure moments. Pairing him with the existing weapons and the emerging talent of Jayden Daniels could turn Washington into a true dark horse contender, capable of making a deep run and even challenging for that elusive Super Bowl title. Thinking back to the history of the franchise, it's reminiscent of the early days of RGII and Pierre Garçon, when Washington had that explosive, dynamic offense that kept defenses on their heels. Dubs, with his skill set, could bring that same energy and unpredictability to the team. The NFC East, long dominated by the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants, could see a shift if the Commanders manage to pull off a move like this, especially if it helps them become more consistent on offense and improves their ability to close out games. Now, of course, the trade isn't a done deal yet. The Packers are likely weighing the value of a second-round pick in 2026 against Dubs' potential to be a franchise player for years to come. They're looking at the bigger picture and trying to build a team that can contend in the future, especially with their focus on bolstering the defensive line, which has been allowing too many sacks and big plays. Green Bay's front office is probably also considering the fact that Dubs is still relatively young and has plenty of room to grow, so they might want to hold on to him longer. But if the right offer comes along, especially one that aligns with their rebuild strategy, a trade could be imminent. For Washington, though, this represents an incredible opportunity. Acquiring Dubs would not only fill a major gap in their offense, but also send a message that the team is serious about competing now. It's a move that could energize the locker room, excite the fan base, and shift the momentum in their favor as they push for a playoff spot. With the NFC East being as competitive as ever, every game, every drive counts, and having a player like Dubs could be the difference in tight matchups against the division foes, especially in high-stakes moments. As we look ahead, the NFL trade deadline is approaching, and all signs point to some fireworks, especially in the NFC East. Teams are looking to make bold moves, and the Commanders are certainly in a position to capitalize if they can land Dubs. His skill set, combined with the team's needs and cap space, makes this a match made in heaven if the negotiations go as hoped. It's a move that could redefine the team's trajectory, taking them from a decent squad to legitimate contenders with a real shot at the Super Bowl. The next few days will be crucial. Will Green Bay pull the trigger? Will Washington get their man? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. This potential trade is one of the most exciting stories in the NFL right now, and it could have ripple effects that last for years across the NFC East. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Dubs would be the perfect fit for the team? Would this move push Washington into serious Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is the kind of move that could define the future of the franchise, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Keep your eyes on the NFC East, because things are heating up, and the Commanders might be about to make a bold statement in this NFL season.